Get ready, arm wrestling fans. We have a very spicy topic to discuss today. Should Devon Larratt's 115 kg title be taken away from him due to inactivity? Engin was live recently, and as usual, he dropped a bunch of exciting news updates. Levan told Engin that he also wants it to be a 6-round super match against Devon Larratt in April. So no, the rule change from best of 5 to best of 7 for East versus West title matches was not to favor Devon. It is what both of the athletes wanted, and it is also what most of the fans wanted. So there is nothing wrong with that. I think it can make things even more exciting. Now let's get to the topic. Engin said, Devon is in super heavyweight and we cannot keep that category, talking about the 115 kg category, forever. Wait for Devon. Because we know that next 6, 7, 8 months, he won't be there. Listening to just this part can make you think that yes, Engin is also thinking about doing something with the 115 kg title. But that's not the case. This is what Engin said afterwards.
So do you think the champion should get the title if it has not been defended? Yeah, that is, I understand, Jake, yeah. You are right, but the only thing is that Devon is not inactive because he doesn't want to pull, but the guy is pulling another category, and I'm sure he's coming down. If it was because of I don't want to pull or I'm injured, I wouldn't even think second,
There are some arguments where you 100% agree with what is being said. All of these statements individually are completely correct, but yet the statement doesn't make any sense because it is not related to what is being discussed. So whatever Engin said about Devon is obviously true. He is probably the most active arm wrestler in the entire world in the super heavyweight division, but he has not been competing in the 115 kg category on the right arm. So he is as inactive in that weight category as anyone can be. So I don't see the relation there. Devon is totally inactive, and there should be a rule for how long you can hold the belt if there is no justified reason. And a rule, even if you have a justified reason, we should have a rule for that as well. Remember, even Devon himself said about Denis Cyplenkov that yes, he's totally willing to let anyone not defend the legacy hammer for 1 year for absolutely no reason whatsoever. Even for a couple of years, but for that, there has to be a genuine reason. Only in that case, he is willing to allow somebody to wait without competing for about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years. So that rule should be applicable to Devon as well. And competing in the super heavyweight because you want to be the #1 guy in the world, in my book, is no reason for inactivity in the 115 kg category. He's not injured. He can pull anytime he wants. He's not under any contract that is preventing him from pulling in that category. So I don't think Devon has any reason not to pull in that category. But the thing is that Devon runs arm wrestling. Even the biggest leagues, they have to change according to Devon's plans. And it is just inevitable because Devon is Mr. Arm Wrestling, at least in the pay-per-view world. Nobody is even close. I mean, just imagine it. Engin coming in alive and announcing that he is stripping Devon Larratt off of his 115 kg title. The fans would go mad. And maybe that's why he couldn't do it. That's why he couldn't create a rule around it. So imagine if Todd Hutchings, after winning against Ongarbayev, after winning the 115 kg title, says that now he's planning on competing in 95 kg division for next couple of years. He will be super active. He'll be competing 4 times a year. So you cannot say that he's not inactive. He just has some different plans. And the 105 kg title will be vacant for 2 years. Sasha Andreev can do the same. He's the 95 kg champion. He can cut 3-4 kilos and compete in the 85 kilo category. Stay there for 2 years. Obviously super active and be busy there without actually having to defend his 95 kg title. That doesn't make any sense, does it? With that way, the belt of every other weight class would stay vacant if the athletes decide so, and that shouldn't happen. So yes, I do agree this issue is completely new. Although realistically speaking, the time frame should be only 1 year unless the athlete is seriously injured. And even if he is, there should be an interim title introduced in the weight category. But since it's a new issue, maybe 2 years for the first time and then reduce it to 1 year. But for sure, there has to be some rules in any and in every serious organization of arm wrestling. So if we just look at this problem from an idealistic standpoint without actually going towards the ground reality, then it's kind of easy to say that Devon should forfeit the title because he won it on November 19th, 2022, and he probably won't be defending it for 2 more years after that. But if we take a look at this picture, the East versus West 115 kg rankings, then there is literally no one who can even give Devon a close match. Forget about beating him. Now that's a problematic situation for Devon because there is no one for him to compete against. That's a problematic situation for Engin because he cannot find any opponents, and for the fans as well because we want to see close matches. And there were literally many matches remaining in the super heavyweight division that Devon needed to take care of. So that takes us back to the initial problems that we discussed almost a year ago. This 115 kg class, although started by Engin with good intentions, right now it seems lifeless. A couple of years ago when Levan was destroying everyone, people were saying that a 106 kg guy is not really a super heavyweight. That's why we need 115 or even 125 kg weight class. But now when we have seen the reality, it's kind of useless weight category. So do you think there is any solution to this problem of the 115 kg class? Please mention in the comments. After that, Engin said that Denis Cyplenkov is not ready yet. He offered him a match, but Denis is waiting for his hip treatment and his left shoulder is also bothering him. So he's taking care of that as well. He'll compete in next spring. I think that's what Engin said. So talking about the Ivan Matyushenko versus young Rino Masic super match, Engin said that there is no match for Ivan. Obviously, he's really strong. Whoever can face him is not available. Dadikyan is seriously injured. Evgeny Prudnik and Alijan Muratov, they both can compete against Ivan, but they are already pulling for the 105 kg left arm title. And Ivan wants only 115 kg guys, not the super heavyweights. He's taking the Derek Smith match on the right arm, but I believe he knows that he can easily win that match. And this Ivan versus Rino is the 8th title match for the January event. Simply insane. So Engin informed us that he is also planning to have a super match for Leonidas Arcona on the East versus West stage. Leonidas is a beast. I think he can very quickly be a super match specialist. That's just the way he pulls, and he can pull both left and right-handed in a very exciting manner. I know I'm gonna get some hate for this, but I believe that in 2024, Jon Brezink versus Leonidas Arcona is going to be absolutely insane. It is going to be a really close match where Jon is going to be dominant initially, but eventually Leonidas Arcona's endurance and his king's move will take over. Then Monster Michael Todd update. I feel bad for Michael, whatever the reason is for this kind of, I'll say, unfortunate sad news. So Engin announced that he's only planning on having Michael Todd as a commentator for East versus West 11 in January and not as a competitor. Michael was announcing for months now that he's going to compete in January at East versus West. We would have loved to know the reason why Michael isn't competing there. Maybe and hopefully Michael is going to announce it soon on his YouTube channel. And final update, Engin has somehow, after relentless efforts, able to solve the Russia-Ukraine conflict, not in the real world, but in the arm wrestling world. So initially it was like Russians were completely banned from competing anywhere in any situation whatsoever. Then they kind of eased it a little bit and Russians can compete, but if the residents of Ukraine are not competing at the same event. Now, from the looks of it, Engin briefly discussed this topic. He kind of deflected it, but I got to come to a conclusion from what Engin was saying in that video that right now, even the Ukrainians and Russians can compete on the same card. I really like this news. Obviously, they won't be competing against each other, under Engin at least, but they are going to continue, and as we have started to see in the future cards as well. Thanks for watching, like the video and subscribe.